Aren't you concerned that they're going to be a little weird? We get a lot of questions about why we homeschool, and since we're starting our 4th year, I thought it would be a good time to share our journey, the reason behind our choices, the resources that we use, and what day by day actually looks like. If you've been thinking about homeschooling, this might give you some encouragement. My oldest is now starting 2nd grade. He is 6 years old. I've taught him preschool, kindergarten, 1st grade, and now we're starting 2nd. Now my 3-year-old is starting preschool. At first, honestly, I didn't know if I could do it. I am not a trained teacher and I was nervous. But when my husband suggested it was time to sign him up for school, he felt too little and I couldn't imagine sending him to school. So I prayed a lot about it. By the grace of God, I met homeschooling moms that answered all of my questions and encouraged me. Okay, why did we choose homeschooling? Number 1, we wanted more time together. Time is flying and I wanted to spend as much time as I can with my kiddos. Homeschooling lets me pour into them and just be present with them and enjoy them being children. I keep telling myself that I have 18 summers with my kids, and honestly, not even that. He is 6 years old and I know that my time is limited, and I just can't believe how fast the time is going by. And I believe that I will never regret having more time with my kids, especially because they're going to leave the house one day. The only thing we cannot buy in this lifetime is time. I just wanted to have more time with my children, and that was one of the biggest factors about why I decided to homeschool them. Number 2, control over content. We want to be the first voices guiding our kids through big topics. I know every family is different, but for us, it was very important that sensitive topics and important values are introduced at home in our own timing. Number 3, another huge factor for me was safety and environment. We also feel more at peace knowing that our kids are home safe. There are so many challenges that kids face in school nowadays, such as bullying and violence, and that just weighed heavily on me. I couldn't imagine sending him and being worried every single day what was going to happen and if my child was going to come home. Number 4, real world learning. I want them to learn not only academics, but also life skills such as budgeting, cooking, paying taxes, buying a home, things that I wish I would have known in school. Number 5, custom education. I know when my son is distracted, when he's not paying attention, when he hasn't really learned a concept, and I can spend more time with him until we get that concept down. A classroom can't always offer that one-on-one attention. I know that the cost can be a big worry for families. Some states now offer tax credit or education savings account for homeschooling families. These can range from a few $100s to a few $1,000s in support depending on where you live. I won't go into exact numbers since it varies so much depending on state, but it's worth checking your state's options. For us, the curriculum and supplies has always been an investment, but I see it as one of the best investments we can make on our kids. Okay, how do we actually do it? I purchased a curriculum. I used The Good and the Beautiful. This is the one we have been using for going on to 4 years now. It comes with a math box. This is my personal planner. Every single day I write down what lessons we do, and this just helps me stay on track. Here's the curriculum. They do offer a free version where you can just go online and print all of the pages for the daily lessons. I personally like to have the handbook on hand, so I order these every single year. The reason why I purchased this curriculum is because it is open and go. So you don't have to do any prep work or anything. You open the lesson. It tells me exactly what to tell my son, what he has to do, and the worksheets are included in the curriculum. This is a Christian curriculum, but it's non-denominational. So it just gives you openings where you can go ahead and talk about your specific beliefs to your child. When we first started, he only needed about 3 lessons a week. And since he started 1st grade, we stuck to 4 days a week, and we will continue that on. I used to have no structure. So I used to tell myself that any day from Monday through Sunday, as long as 4 lessons got done at any time or any day, then we were good to go. But the older my son is getting, he really craves structure. And it's also really nice to have a long break after we're done with school. So the way that we do it now is Monday through Thursday, and then we take 3 days off, which we really enjoy. I also allow myself to have about 6 to 9 weeks of leeway during the year, and I just allocate that as needed. Halfway through last year, we decided that doing school first thing in the morning was the most efficient. My little guy naps in the evenings from 3 to 5 lately, my 3-year-old. So last year, whenever my son napped, that's when we would do school, and we were just so worn out and so exhausted that at the end of last year, I decided that that wasn't working for us, and we switched to the morning. So now the way that our our day is structured is from 9 a.m. after breakfast until 12 or 1, it's school time, and we do nothing else Monday through Thursday, unless there's exceptions or holidays, or we just really need a break. I love giving myself so much leeway that I can allocate our time accordingly. When I was first researching homeschooling, I purchased lots of books and I did my own research before coming to the conclusion that homeschooling was what I wanted to do. And one of those books that I bought was Learning Year by Year. This book tells you exactly what your child should be learning every single year if they were going to a public school system. This is a compilation of all of the state's curriculums and basically a gauge of where your child should be at by every single year. So it goes from preschool all the way to 12th grade, and it tells you exactly what your kids should be learning, books that they should be reading, and things that they would be doing at their specific level. This book is for a lot of people that want to make their own curriculums. It's written by scientists, and they were also homeschooling parents. So this is just a great resource and an encyclopedia. I know that some people make their own curriculum for their children. I purchased a curriculum so I can make sure that he's getting a complete education and that I can stay on track, not just with what I can come up with. School does not have to be 8 hours long. We get it done in about 3 hours typically. And then my preschooler only needs about half an hour to 45 minutes 3 times a week. I will go ahead and link down all of the books that I read before deciding to homeschool. If you want to go ahead and check them out, you can also go to your local library and check them out. Before you decide to homeschool, I really strongly suggest doing your own research and making sure that that's something that you can do and something that you can stick to as well. Okay. Socialization. This is the biggest concern and the number one thing that everybody brings up. When I started telling people around me that I was going to homeschool my son, the number one question I got is, how are they going to socialize? Aren't you concerned that they're going to be a little weird, that they're not going to know how to interact or socialize? And I feel like that can be very true if you do not make it a priority. I understand that my son isn't going to school and he's not socializing with other kids his age like he would in school. So I make it a priority that he gets enough socialization. He does many sports and activities since he was very little. Around the same time he started preschool, I signed him up. He did tumbling and taekwondo and dance that first year. Thank God we live in a place where all of his activities are very affordable and he can join almost all of them. This year he has done his 4th year of swimming lessons. He has done T-ball, Bible camp. He just finished up soccer. We will be starting golf camp, and we also went out of state for basketball camp that we do at a professional stadium. In the winter, I also make sure that he does plenty of activities, and I make it a priority for myself to take them to do an activity at least twice a week. I try to break up my days into blocks, and when it's my kid block, we try to do at least one activity every single day. It doesn't always happen. We go to the park, to trampoline parks. We do lots of picnic dates. We go to McDonald's to play with other kids. We do also have homeschooling friends that we socialize with. We go to church on Sundays. I make it a priority to make sure that he is constantly exposed to other children his age. Honestly, I think that homeschooling kids mature in a really healthy way because their main influences are family that absolutely loves them. Another thing that I love about homeschooling is that my kids don't feel pressured to be anything else other than themselves. When I was in school, I did things because everyone else was doing them. But during summer breaks, I felt more like myself. I want my kids to have that freedom year round. They get to be 100% themselves, explore their own interests, and they get to look at us, their parents, for guidance instead of other kids that are also trying to figure out life. It even comes down to the simple things like what they wear. They don't feel pressure to wear what everybody else is wearing or what's popular or trending. They really like something, we just go ahead and buy it, and it doesn't have to be anything that's trending, or they don't feel the pressure to just have something that everybody else has. And I love that for them, that they can just explore their own interests. For example, my 6-year-old son, he is very athletic, so we have him enrolled in lots of sports. And my 3-year-old, we can already tell that he's artistically inclined. He loves music and painting. We're already planning piano lessons in the future once he comes of age. We have bought him stencils and lots of coloring things, and we just nurture those passions that they have. Homeschooling is definitely a sacrifice, but for us, it has been worth every second of it. But if you're considering it, just know that you don't need to have a degree. You just need to have a willing heart and consistency. You will never regret spending more time with your kids. They honestly grow so fast. If you'd like, I can make another video for you sharing what our typical homeschooling day looks like for us. Let me know in the comments if that would help you. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.